Welcome to the Chanel Ashby podcast on the EIP network. Excellence in porn, talent on loan from my cock. Episode 3. Each week we will be bringing you the best and worst of internet erotica in a review format, along with curious tidbits that we find interesting. In addition, we will freely and liberally use the 7 words that the FCC dictates that cannot be used on television or radio. These words, in case you are unfamiliar, are shit, piss, fuck, cunt, cocksucker, motherfucker, and tits. We hope you enjoy the show, and as usual, we welcome all listener comments sent to chrisplove69@gmail.com. Hi, Chanel.
Hi, Chris. How are you?
Good. How was your week?
My week was excellent. I was up to my eyeballs in hot, nasty smut.
Right.
How was yours?
It was great. I was in Michigan all week at a dildo convention.
Really?
It was excellent. The Wilbur is doing very, very well on the open market.
Where was your dildo conference?
It was in Detroit.
In the D?
In the D.
For dildo?
Right off 8 Mile. So it was fun. Got a little sketchy at that, but it was a good time.
Really? Did you stay at the Super 8?
Well, no, because 2 of my friends couldn't come, so we had to go to Motel 6. Because we're all about symmetry.
Did they leave the light on for you?
They did. They left more than the light on for us.
The red light?
They've got good lotions there at Motel 6. I take them home.
Good for you.
Right.
Well, it's important not to waste.
No, we don't waste.
Well, you know, with all your dildo conference going on and all of that, did you have time to read all of your smut this week, Chris P?
I did. This has been a big week. I was very, very busy. When I wasn't demoing the Wilbur at the Passionate Kitty, which is a strip club right off 8 Mile, they serve an excellent lunch buffet, by the way, which is great because, you know, it's nice to get a little peckish when you're on the road. And so you can go get a little something to eat, and then you can work with your clientele.
Can I ask you something?
Sure.
When you demo the Wilbur, do you use it on yourself or a client?
No, I haven't had to use it on myself in a while. I would promote it out of that position. Thank God. The Wilbur's really big.
It's a little tiresome.
Well, you know, it was getting a little sketchy when, you know, you had some burritos from the strip club.
Right.
And you've been using the Wilbur all week on your shelf, and you don't know what's going to happen. It's not good.
What do you think is the best lube to prevent backdoor accidents?
Spit.
Just only spit? The lube that God gave you?
Right. It's all natural.
It's locally sourced.
Right. The hipsters love it.
Hipsters love spit.
Like, you know, Chinese lube. And if you don't know, there's a lot of Chinese lube on the market getting sent over here, but being marketed as American lube. And that's not good, because there's lead in that lube, and that's not the kind of metal you want in your lube.
Right.
No. These are important things to know. So spit. Just stay with spit. You know, hydrate, and you'll be fine.
So you think that spit for everything, regardless.
Right. Yeah, you don't even need WD-40, though that is an American-made and American-originated product. That would work, but cleanup's kind of a bear.
Yeah, I don't think we should probably tell people to use WD-40 on anything.
No, we don't recommend that. That's really more like, you know, rocking a hard place. You're in a garage, and you've met, you know, the tasty, tasty girl who's taking your money to get your minivan fixed. And, you know, she's like 25, and she really likes, you know, a 62-year-old dildo salesman. And, you know, maybe you're a little short of money because, you know, the Wilbur's not really selling in Iowa like you had hoped. And the only way to get your minivan out is to maybe, you know, either, you know, give her what she really wants.
Because she's got daddy issues.
We hope. Otherwise, she's really messed up.
Right.
So now, based on that, I did do some reading this week. We have a lot to cover in today's show. It's amazing. But the first story I'd like to talk about is something you actually introduced me to, and I took it upon myself to go and look it up. And it's God's Erotica. And since we always post on the Sabbath, I thought it very appropriate that a book put out by the Holy Trinity, God's Erotica, the only taboo erotic endorsed by Jesus himself.
Wow. Was it Jesus or Jesus?
Well, it could be Jesus, the landscaper of the Holy Trinity, who said, muy coherente, I really like this, but I'm going to assume that the intention was that it was actually Jesus Christ himself.
Maybe Jesus only knows about trimming bushes.
Well, there's some bush trimming going on in here, but I think the author actually missed the major marketing point, because I was hoping for some, tasty taboo reading at the Motel 6, and what I got was basically 12 stories all on incest and different versions of incest.
Real incest or fake incest?
It's very interesting because the daddy-daughter is all like stepkids. So that I would quantify as fake incest. But the mommy-son seems to be mommy-son.
Really?
Real incest. And in one particular case, it was actually mommy, hot next-door neighbor, and son. So a lot of MILF and cougar action. All the boys seem to be 18 years old for some reason.
They magically turned 18?
Just coming home from college after their first semester, or getting ready to go to college on their first semester. So it actually, even once you get past the incest part of it, was not a bad read, though the 7th grade references to tits and cocks, such as love stick and MILF boobs, got a little tiresome.
Love stick?
Right.
Really?
Well, when it's your mom, it's your love stick. Love you, Mom.
Good one, Crispy.
Wow.
So you were going to say that it was pretty hot, but
the 7th grade references are a little tiresome, and of course, every child who is 18, it should be noted, are all virgins.
Really?
Every single one, until either mom or dad took that special gift away from them. And we all know that your virginity should be lost in the back of a 1972 Nova on a dark, dark night where you totally regret it later.
With a Wilbur.
Well, I hope. That would be great.
I think you should use that as a sales pitch.
Right.
Taking more cherries than any other dildo.
Well, there's no doubt. If you got a Wilbur, you're certainly hitting uncharted territory usually. So,
you'd hope.
Right? What did you read this week, Chanel?
Oh, my goodness. I read a couple of very interesting things. We were going to talk about, or we are going to talk about, erotic lactation.
Right. It's our featured fetish of the week.
Correct. So I wanted to let you know that I read something about being a human cow. It's
No.
I don't usually have any virgin escapades recently, but this is my first time reading a human cow story. What do you feel about erotic lactation, Chris?
I can't say I know that much about it.
You never been with a woman who is breastfeeding?
No.
No?
No, I don't really have any kids. I think my sperm is kind of dead.
There you go. So, not a big fan. And I can't say I've ever been in real life with anyone who is breastfeeding either. So, I don't know how I feel about it personally, but I do know that there are lots of guys out there that think women with milky boobs, all they want to do is... Exactly, Crispy. If you got milk, they're very excited.
Maybe we should get a hold of the Dairy Foundation. Maybe they're missing a whole niche audience that they should be catering to.
Breast milk,
doesn't it?
Called Human Cow 2, which apparently you can understand Human Cow 2 even without reading Human Cow 1. This is one was called.
How is that possible? How could you possibly follow along?
The author gave us enough information in Trained and Displayed that we were able to follow along. The author's name is Luna Lupe, and if you're interested in erotic lactation and the like, she is on Amazon. Looks like she does a lot of other milk stories as well as tentacle porn.
Well, they go hand in hand, right?
Well, maybe they do. We'll have to talk about tentacle porn some other day, Chris. Now, the human cow story. She's a human cow. This means she's owned. This is a human woman owned by a man who keeps her in a dairy. She is naked except for her human cow tail that has been put in her rear end.
Well, of course. Where else would you put it?
Exactly.
Well, that's really the best place for a Wilbur, but we haven't put that model out yet. Wait for it in the fall.
Exactly. She also has cow horns that she wears on her head.
Does she wear a bell?
She doesn't, but they do actually make cowbells for people that want to be human cows. That's one of the accessories for the human cow market.
Right, probably can be purchased very reasonably on Amazon.com.
Exactly.
Right. Probably not going to find it at Walmart. Better go to Amazon.
So her, the orgasms. This is something I didn't know. Orgasms when you're a human cow helps you produce more milk.
Really?
Who knew?
This is really, listeners, this is all about learning, isn't it? This is great. I learn so much every week, and I really appreciate it.
Basically, the story was all about human cow sitting around waiting to get her. She needs to get milked because her breasts are enormous and ready.
Right? Who doesn't like that?
But she's waiting for her owner to come back and get her off, either by manual stimulation or fucking her.
So this is her job then.
It is. She no longer has a real job. She's just a human cow.
Right. Seems very realistic to me.
Exactly. I mean, I think everybody would like to quit their job and just be a human cow.
Right. Probably a little disconcerting for the second graders to go on the dairy tour, and there's a woman, like, in a stall, though.
Hi, Mom.
Right. Well, yeah, because, she probably has been there since shortly after childbirth.
I think that's what a lot of the human cow stuff is. It's like starts with having a baby and the milk comes in and it's an erotic experience. So then they go straight to full-time human cow.
So perhaps we should really inform the police. For any missing moms out there, the first place to look are dairy farms.
Only human cow dairy farms.
Right.
But I don't know how you really know, like, driving by, if it's a human cow.
You can probably look them up online. Everything's online.
Probably can.
Right. Just what, like just Google human dairy farm, human cow farm.
I'm not sure.
Is that whole milk or skim?
I think it's whole.
Nice.
You gotta be kind of nice and fat.
Right. Kind of creamy.
Creamy.
Right.
Yeah,
we like it creamy.
It's definitely not lactose free or gluten free or fat free.
Probably no hipsters going there then, because they don't like gluten or fat or natural. Well, if it's locally sourced, they might like it. Right. So, what did you think of the story?
I guess I thought it was okay. It didn't do anything for me personally. I guess the human cow aspect of erotic lactation is bringing more of the BDSM aspect into the breast milk fetish. So it's more about humiliating this person, this human cow. I'm using my invisible finger things again.
Right, like when you use your fingers.
Right.
Yeah, good time.
The human cow is kept as an animal. It's not allowed to speak. It's a very submissive role play. and of course the sexual aspect of nipple stimulation and being fucked and all that. But the owner, who would be the dominant in the role play, is allowed to sell not only this human cow's milk, but her body to whomever would like to participate. So maybe just only because I didn't really love the submissive aspect of it, I'm used to more of the just milky good time squirting all over.
Right, just all covered in milk.
Right, just one of those breastfeeding stories where it's a girl and she has a baby and she's broke and she starts selling her breast milk and guys come over and she squirts all over them and they just roll around in it.
Their cum mixes with the milk.
And cum and breast milk and spit. And
right.
Yeah, it's all very wet and sticky.
Yeah.
Either that or the adult babies. The guys who need a nanny.
A wet nurse.
Right. And then they want to be cuddled and she's the mommy and all of that.
That's excellent. I really liked your review. I also read some other stuff too.
Ooh, you've been quite busy this week, Chris.
I was quite the little student reading up on stuff.
You've been a good boy.
Right, well, look kind of good in a naughty way.
You might have to bend over my knee.
Oh, right. Here, we're going to take a break. No, I'll wait until the end. That's okay.
It's foreplay, Crispy.
Right.
Read your reviews.
Wait, let me pull my pants down. Hold on. Wait for it. Okay, I'm ready.
Okay,
so the next story I read was Feeding Heroes by Arla Cooper. This is your standard alien impregnation story.
Ooh, I like aliens and impregnation.
Right, where the virgin wakes up knowing that she is pregnant and is very dumbstruck by the fact that she has never had a relationship in that kind of way with a man.
It's like the Virgin Mary.
Right, except with an alien who comes and visits her in the middle of the night as she stares down at the love bump in her stomach. So, and the alien explains to her that he has impregnated her so that her baby can fight the evil aliens that are trying to take over, the world, and more importantly, America.
Really, it really sounds just like Jesus,
right?
And the Virgin Mary.
I don't think Jesus's cum tastes like sticky cotton candy.
Wait, did you fall asleep reading porn and you really were reading the Gideon Bible in the hotel room?
Welcome back to the Sabbath. Anyone with questions and or complaints about talking this way on the Sabbath should direct all email to chrisplove69@gmail.com. And I will send you back a bag of dick.
To suck on?
Right.
Excellent.
So, no, but apparently aliens cum tastes like sticky cotton candy and is limitless.
It just can come as much anytime, any place.
Full on quantity after bucket, and you just can't seem to get enough. Plus, it has healing qualities.
It's homeopathic.
Right.
It's like medicine.
It is.
Cum medicine.
Right.
Can you rub it all over?
She does. Her breasts are aching because they're so full of alien baby milk. And he shoots some jizz on her tits, and she rubs them on because it's kind of sticky. She references that they're sticky.
Oh.
But it makes her breasts not hurt so much.
Wow. This is actually not too... I mean, it's strange sounding, but it doesn't sound terrible. Did you enjoy it?
It was okay. She actually gave the alien a blowjob because, it came all that way, so he should get something. Right? It's kind of like when you buy a woman dinner. You expect them to put out, right?
Exactly.
Right.
Why else would you pay for dinner?
That's what I'm saying.
You could just buy your own dinner.
Why share?
You could just get your own ramen noodles.
Ramen noodles? Fancy. Okay, whatever.
Well, that's why you can't afford to take me out, Crispy.
Right. So I also read Miss Rose. Now, Miss Rose, written by Natalie and Eric Severvine, is actually a compilation of 3 stories. The hero, Alex, a young, upstanding college student, takes a class on sexual fetishes from his teacher, Miss Rose. In actuality, it was not a bad story from a BDSM light standpoint. So, Miss Rose, as the Dom mentor, taking Alex under her wing and showing him the ways of the world through the eyes of an experienced woman, progresses through the 3 stories where ultimately he graduates college and becomes a police officer, going back to Miss Rose to learn more about BDSM as he investigates a terrible, terrible murder. Now, the first story, Miss Rose, is free for download on Smashwords. Here's a note, though. You can get the other 2 stories by clicking on the last link in the first story, and I'll download those for free also. They've written
good money-saving tip, Crispy.
Right, we're all about budgets in today's economy. So you can get all 3 stories for free. Enjoy. Like I said, it's BDSM light, but if you're not looking to go to the dark side, it's not a bad first one.
Any boners up?
3 boners up out of 5.
Not bad.
Right?
So better than 50 Shades of Black.
Yeah, we should really point out that 50 Shades of Black, the continuation, came out this week. And you made an interesting point that is basically just a rehash of the Twilight Saga, but with better marketing.
The 50 Shades of Grey trilogy is the BDSM slant on the Twilight vampire teenager series. Yes, exactly. The main characters are all exactly the same.
Right, so it should be noted that for all you soccer moms out there that are getting ready to ditch their husbands because they've read 50 Shades of Grey and go find a dungeon somewhere, safety first, ladies. Safety first. Safety first.
And stalkers and people that don't make you feel safe, that's not true domination. True submission should never make you wonder if you're going to come home.
Right. You want a feeling of exhilaration and of ecstasy with a tinge, like 2% of fear. Not the other way around. 98% fear, not 2% exhilaration. And just so you know, the odds of you soccer moms meeting a billionaire who's going to take you to their penthouse overlooking a major metropolitan city with a helicopter on the pad, probably not going to happen. It's been our experience that a lot of people at this BDSM clubs, you're going to end up in a trailer, probably in the middle of a field, with
a dude who works at Subway.
If he's so lucky, he'd have a job at Subway. Though there are a lot of Subways, and who doesn't like a nice 12-inch club? That can be tasty, when you've got a...
Speaking of 12-inch clubs, you're probably not going to meet a guy with a 12-inch dick either.
Right. Though, interestingly enough, as we pointed out in episode 1, that it is not okay to be a millionaire in porn erotica anymore. You need to be a billionaire.
Exactly.
We found out this week, listeners, that it is not okay to have an 8-inch cock anymore.
Or a 12-inch cock.
Or a 12-inch cock in porn. You need to have, how long, Chanel?
As long as you can get it. No, you need an 18-inch cock. A billionaire with an 18-inch cock is the standard in porn world.
So any of you budding writers out there, this is what you're looking for. 18-inch billionaire of mysterious descent, and
goes both ways.
Yes, they're all bi. Everyone's bi in porn world.
And you can your dick is so big and your sperm is so powerful that you can impregnate another dude.
That's a new thing too. Dude impregnation. We're going to save that for next week, but what did you find out about dude on dude impregnation?
that the Arnold Schwarzenegger story is real.
So that's right.
Danny DeVito.
Danny DeVito has an 18-inch cock and impregnated
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Right. It was portrayed as fiction. We bring it to you here live. It's a Chanel Ashby exclusive. That was a true story.
It was. Actually, we'll talk about dude on dude impregnation next week, since we've got so many other stories to review.
Right, you have another one too, right?
I do. I actually wanted to talk about sometimes when you find an author, and I'm going to use my example as Sophie Sin. And I actually think that we reviewed a story from Sophie Sin, maybe the first episode, and it was a really good story. It's a black repairman comes over and ties up the White House wife and fucks her. And
then the husband comes home.
And the husband comes home and catches her.
Forget that. That's a good time.
Exactly. I thought that
happens a lot.
That was a great story. So this week, I actually found 2 Sophie Sin stories. And one...
Welcome back, Sophie.
And one was terrible. It was a terrible, terrible story. But it's funny, and I'll tell you about it in 2 seconds. And the other one was really good. So I just wanted to make a note, because sometimes, especially since your smut or your jerk-off material, whatever you want to call it, is such a personal thing. Sometimes you run across an author and one story is fabulous and the other story is not fabulous, but that's not really a reflection on the author so much as just maybe that wasn't your thing. Or perhaps that particular story wasn't written the way you envisioned it.
Well, I think it's important to note that everyone's sexual fetishes and preferences are very personal, and the greatest thing about the internet, today's world, is it gives you the ability to find erotica that will work for you in your life and what your particular niche is in the sexual world. So not every story that we review might be right for you, and feel free to do a new Google search or a search on Amazon or iBooks or Smashwords or any of the other places that you can find it to find that picadillo that is particular to your needs.
That's right. There's enough variety out there that everybody should find something that they enjoy reading. So, Sophie Sin, the first story I read this week was called Seeking a Bitch. And I kind of thought with the title that might be a really hot story. But it was actually very funny. It's a vacuum salesman, and he meets this woman who's really hot, but she's a real bitch to him. And then he starts taunting her and telling her like how he bets that she never gets laid. So of course she drags him to the closest men's bathroom, and she tells him that they're going to fuck. However, and this was an interesting conversation that you and I had this week, Chris, she is a virgin in the pussy, but a slut in the butt.
Right, and as I pointed out to Chanel, this is like a real thing with the younger kids today, that they want to remain chaste in their pussy region until marriage. So basically, they're just giving it up to any dude that walks by up the butt, which it makes for an interesting thing when you go to your wedding night with your husband-to-be, and you're like...
And you have corn.
And
it's all stretched out.
Oh, honey, I've been saving my pussy for you, but I've had like 523 dudes pork my butt up until yesterday. But now that we're married, you get my pussy, and the butt is now closed for business.
Is that what always happens?
I don't know if that's what always happens, but it's an interesting look into today's youngsters and how they perceive sex, and
it is interesting.
Being pure.
So you can still be a virgin, although you've taken like 526 dicks in your asshole.
Right. It's been about 30. I'm sure it's 527 by now.
And what about in the mouth? In the mouth dicks, do those count?
No.
So you can be a slut with your mouth and your asshole and still be a virgin.
Buttholes don't count. Mouths don't count. Handies don't count. Foot jobs don't count. Friction doesn't count. Titty fucks don't count. Ear jobs don't count.
So you could be a slut in every other part of your body.
98% of your body can be total whore, but if you're a vagina...
If you still have a hymen, you're a virgin.
Right.
Wow. I'm so glad that we had this conversation. Well, that story was an awful story because, you know, here she is, she's a virgin, takes down her pants, she's still got cum running out of her asshole from the last guy that fucked her in her ass because apparently
she's still
total
pure.
ass whore,
right? But still pure,
right? Well, so and the vacuum salesman doesn't get to fuck her in the pussy either because it's just a bathroom fuck. So it was a terrible story. However, then I read the second Sophie Sin story of the week.
Wasn't there something else in the bathroom?
Oh, they ate a bagel.
After or before
they
fucking?
They ate a bagel in the bathroom after fucking. Without washing their hands.
After anal, having a bagel.
Right? You didn't get a hole. You didn't get enough of a little hole.
Right. See, I have a real problem with eating in the bathroom.
Yeah, I thought it was unnecessary.
It is not a place to consume a meal. No matter
Unless you're a human toilet.
Right, which will be coming up in an upcoming episode, probably the next couple months, the human toilet episode. Right, that might be a special feature that we just put out because maybe not everyone actually wants to hear about that.
I think everyone needs to know about what can happen and the precautions that they should take if they're going to be a human toilet.
Because we're all about safety first here at the Chanel Ashby podcast.
It is. You don't want to lose an eye.
Right. Oh, no. It's all fun and games till someone loses an eye.
With Obamacare, how are you going to take that taken care of?
You don't know if you're going to be taken care of. And to our friends to the north in Canada, it could be months until you can get in and see your doctor.
And in the meantime, you've got like a turd hanging right out of your eyeball.
That's not a good look.
Nope. No. You got a shitty outlook then.
Right. You're so funny. That's good. So, what else? So, she wrote, "Ooh, how I spanked her."
Oh, how I spanked her. And it was very quick and hot and dirty. It was a husband. And see, here it's a Sunday thing. We're on religious kick again. Husband is very conservative. And
as we all are.
Exactly. Everybody's a uptight Republican, right? So husband's very conservative, does not allow his wife to use profanity. And his wife puts a video in for him to watch of a priest spanking a young Catholic schoolgirl, pulling her skirt up over her bottom and spanking her. And the husband,
a little bit of a chubby.
Right, exactly.
That's hot.
He gives it to her good. And hard.
Naughty, naughty girl.
So, the husband...
She's 18.
Okay. So the husband watches the video and says, "What in the world are you making me watch this video for?" And his wife uses the F word to inspire his wrath, and the husband grabs her and throws her over his lap and spanks her, and then does some very rapey, hot, non-consensual almost sex with her, and she of course enjoys it very much. And so there it was, short, sweet, hot, to the point. Sophie Sin, check her out. She's everywhere. She's on Amazon, she's on Smashwords, she's on Barnes and Noble. Short, cheap, hot, good smut, but I would avoid seeking a bitch because apparently eating in the bathroom.
Right, no, we don't like that.
Unless you're really into butt sluts, which I guess, thanks for you telling me that it's a thing.
Some people are, right?
Butt sluts.
So it might be, it might be a training manual for youngsters not looking to give up the vajay. This is how to apparently sleep with a vacuum salesman. And that's a boom industry right now, by the way, door-to-door vacuum salesman. I think there's really growth potential there.
Okay.
Right.
A lot of people getting into the dildo sales, door-to-door dildo sales?
No, thank God. It's kind of my own little niche market. Not a lot of people knocking on doors like I am.
That's excellent.
Right. That whole market share is mine.
All of it.
All of it.
All of America?
All 18 inches is and America. I'm hoping to get promoted to national sales manager, so I have a team of dildo salesmen underneath me.
I bet you want a team of dildo salesmen underneath you.
Me. That's right, because I'm a top. So that's for sure.
You can have your meetings at the Super 8, but you can only have 7 salesmen underneath you
at a
then.
time.
Right? Well, yeah.
But we'll rotate through, so it'll be fine. So now that we have covered our books, we should bring you the sex phrase of the week, which is, as we continue our tour of America, we profile sex terms that reference states and cities all over the U.S. And this is really like a refresher course of U.S. geography. It's great. It's like going back to 4th grade again.
Ooh, that's good, because I don't really remember all of the capitals, Crispy. Maybe this will help me.
Right. Well,
when I see, like, Jeopardy, I'm fucked. I never know those answers.
Well, what do you think of when you hear the term Charleston Chew?
Isn't that a candy bar?
It is, and a damn tasty one. Hello, Charleston Chew. Always looking for corporate sponsors.
Isn't that like a Mars candy bar?
No, a Charleston Chew is like chewy with a little marshmallow, caramel, and chocolate. And
right, okay, I haven't had one of those in a long time.
Right, it's delicious.
Okay.
But now this Charleston Chew that we're talking about today is not to be confused with the candy bar, because 2 totally separate things. This one is when a woman takes a poop, then makes her boyfriend eat it while he is fingering her.
Is he fingering her in the pussy or the asshole?
To be perfectly honest, it didn't really reference, so my assumption is either or. Dealer's choice. I think you could get fingered either way. But
so he has to eat the piece of shit
while fingering her.
While fingering her.
He'd just be able to multitask.
What do you think? Do you think that would be... Do you think you would do that, Crispy? If you met a woman and she said, okay, you can finger me, but you have to eat my piece of shit first?
No, which is why I'm totally not going to North Carolina anytime soon.
Not going to do the Charleston Chew.
No, because if that's what goes on in Charleston, North Carolina, then I just can't. No.
Not a fan of the Charleston Chew.
No. Now, there was another reference of Charleston Chew where you take frozen poo and you actually fuck the girl with it, which seems like a lot of like work, because you got to take a poo, freeze it, make sure the freezer is close to the bed.
Then it's going to be cold in her vagina and she's going to start melting it.
Right, I think that's the point.
So it's going to be very messy. You're going to have to do that at a Motel 6.
That's definitely Motel 6, because a high quality place like Super 8, you don't want to do that there. You're probably not getting your cleaning deposit back.
Exactly.
Right.
So,
and so you people with questionable credit, and they take a cleaning deposit, or if you use a debit card, something like that, to where you don't have the credit you hoped you deserved, then don't do that there. Maybe just straight sex there. Maybe some lactation. That would
do it in the bathtub.
Right. I think a lot of the stuff we talk about should be done in the bathtub.
Exactly.
Right.
So, no Charleston Chew. So the Charleston Chew is, maybe for some people that have some shit fixations that they can't take care of otherwise.
Right. So we should really talk a little bit more about erotic lactation.
We should talk about erotic lactation.
How you think that really keys into the porn world, and because it seems to come in and out of a lot of different porn stories.
There's breast milk in a lot of stories. Did you know that there's brothels in Europe that advertise that they have a wet nurse on duty so that you can come in and get fresh breast milk?
In like the Netherlands, Amsterdam,
yeah, where
Germany?
Like they're a little bit more wide open over there.
A little more progressive than the U.S.
Exactly. You got to get your breast milk on the low in the U.S.
I have noticed, we were talking about this a few months ago, that you can order breast milk online.
You can. And you can... anywhere where you would buy anything else, you can go on Craigslist and find somebody who will sell you her breast milk.
Right, or use tampons.
Or used tampons or stinky socks or dirty panties or anywhere where you would buy a hot teen panties. You can also buy all the other...
Maybe even a human cow. Probably find on Craigslist, maybe.
You know, I don't know if you'd want to actually get a human cow on Craigslist, but you could probably go on FetLife or Alt. In fact, on FetLife, I've seen several people that are human cows. And if you are interested in being a dairy farmer and are equipped to do so and have the knowledge, I'm sure that you could find several young ladies who would love to be your human cow.
Right. So, go out and find those sites and make sure you join up and, support those fine internet entrepreneurs. But you know what else is really exciting?
What is?
You know what that is? This is the week going into 4th of July, the greatest day in world history. It's America's birthday. And with America's birthday, we are announcing a brand new publication coming out the weekend of America's birthday, the greatest country in the whole world. Right? Do you want to go ahead and share with our listeners what you're going to be working on this week?
Sure, Christy.
Right, stand up when you do it because, the America the Beautiful plan.
Well, you just want to see my nipples.
Right. Like they stand up when God Bless America comes on. We'll fade out for you.
Thank you so much, Crispy. Yeah, this week we're going to have our first Dick Stryker book out.
That's right. Dick Stryker, great American hero. The greatest American. Said, you know what? If Ronald Reagan, Clint Eastwood, John Wayne, George Washington, and
Abraham Lincoln?
No, he was gay.
Thomas Jefferson?
David
Bowie.
Oh, David Bowie's English. You mean Davy Crockett? Sure, we'll go with David Crockett, right? Because David Bowie, he's English,
right?
And a little questionable on him being American and all,
or manly,
right? Because So, but if you took all those people and mixed their sperm together, and then put it in your vagina, Chanel, it actually wouldn't even need to be in your vagina. I think it would be within 3 miles of your vagina. You would become inseminated because it's such potent American sperm. That
I would be pregnant with the next great American hero.
Right. Dick Stryker. Great American hero.
Well, that's good to know.
Right.
That I'm not going to be around George Washington.
No, just around his sperm.
Exactly.
But it's like Terminator sperm. Like when,
it can puddle and then move.
Right to your vagina.
In the middle of the night when you don't even know about it.
The best time for sperm to show up.
Okay, well, the first Dick Stryker book is called Backdoor Patriot.
Right.
And it's going to be out early, Saturday of next week, and we will discuss it and perhaps even do a little reading on the podcast next week, Chris.
That'd be great.
And Backdoor Patriot's all about Dick Stryker's mission to Russia. You know how we got to stick it to those Russians.
Goddamn Putin's a communist.
Exactly. Thinks he's running stuff over there.
Right. He doesn't know jack.
Until he runs into Dick Stryker.
Great American hero. And I think it's only appropriate that come out on 4th of July weekend.
I think it's very appropriate.
Right. F-16 porn-writing billionaire fighter pilot with an 18-inch cock. See that, future writers? See how we bring it all together with what's relevant in today's porn world? That's genius, right? That's Chanel Ashby writing. I think, and based on that, you should all check out her newest work, which just came out, which is Cherry Poppin' Cheerleader Camp.
It is. Cherry Poppin' Cheerleader Camp is out and available right now, Chris P. Did I tell you about it?
No, I knew you posted it, but I did not get the synopsis.
Oh, it's about the coach of the cheerleaders and he's got a thing for hot virgin cheerleader girls. And this year...
Who doesn't?
Right, of course. Everyone loves hot virgin cheerleader girls.
Of course.
And this year, he's decided that he's going to take 2.
Nice.
Instead of just, trying to hold back. He decides, why not? He should live a little.
Right, he's been working hard at the cherry poppin' cheerleader camp.
It's all work and no play.
Right,
So.
all your dads sending your daughters off to camp, like in the next couple of weeks. Be careful, this is what could happen.
And she might like it.
A lot, right? Because everyone at Cherry Poppin' Cheerleader Camp, another fine publication by Chanel Ashby, available all places that ebooks are sold.
You're
And
right.
Everyone likes it.
Everyone likes it because the coach has a great dick. Plus, he likes to go down.
I think all coaches have good dicks, right?
I think it's part of their job as a coach to have a good dick.
Do you think they get interviewed on their dick before they get hired?
Definitely. I think they have to make a YouTube video with their dicks.
Right. It's like a resume.
Because they're coaches, they don't really have much of a resume.
Right, because they wear T-shirts and like those coach shorts.
And they have to have whistles.
Right, and that's kind of their uniform, of those polyester.
And wear hats.
They do wear hats a lot, don't they?
They do. So, that's their whole resume. And then, ta-da, they got to show their dick.
Right, because they spend a lot of time near the shower, so...
And if you're going to be a cheerleading coach, you got to be good at eating pussy.
I think any dude should be good at eating pussy.
I agree with you, but I think that there's a lot of dudes that aren't good at eating pussy.
Right.
But I think if you're going to take an 18-year-old girl's virginity, you should definitely lick her pussy really good first. You owe her that much.
Of course. We're all givers here on the Chanel Ashby Show. It's important.
I agree. Are you done with your porn? Did you do...
I did a romance story.
Oh, no. I can't believe you survived.
Barely. Every week, listeners, I will be reviewing a romance story. This week, no exception. This is a genre that is most commonly purchased and discussed by middle-aged fat women who can be seen fondling their Kindle in one hand and a Godiva chocolate bar in the other. This is a truly painful weekly exercise that is only rivaled by having a non-curable flesh-eating disease while having a root canal done with no Novocaine. But in an effort to save you, the listener, the same agony and the money, I do it for you because I love you, our listeners. So this week, I reviewed a touching story about Emma and Conrad.
That sounds like typical romance names.
Right? This particular story was named Nailed by Lucia Jordan. The story of Emma and Conrad, or as the author portrays, the gorgeous and edible Conrad.
He's edible?
He's edible. Or so she says.
Does she eat his asshole?
No.
That's disappointing.
I know.
Especially when it's called Nailed.
He can't be that edible. So, Conrad has an overprotective sister named Violet who wants Emma to impersonate an escort for her brother. Of course, Conrad has an assistant and a driver and, wait for it, is very, very rich. Probably
Does
a
he have an
billionaire.
18-inch cock?
Does not reference his 18-inch cock. It seems like a total failure in the writing, right?
It's out of the formula.
Of course.
She has to get rid of him. He's only a billionaire and with like a regular size
Well,
cock.
they don't even reference how much money he has. He might just be a millionaire. Why even wait?
He's like one step above Subway guy.
Right? Of course he's broken. He walks around with an engagement ring in his pocket from the girl that got away.
This sounds a lot like 50 Shades of Blah.
Right. At this point, I took a 10-minute break to go vomit. And then skipped to page 33 because I couldn't take anymore. And lo and behold, on page 33, I read, she was thrown back into a virtual hot tub of swirling liquid heat. That was Conrad's manliness.
Wait.
Listeners?
Was it a real hot tub?
No, a virtual hot tub.
I'm confused.
Liquid manliness. I know.
Is your liquid manliness cum?
No.
How can you have liquid manliness that's not cum?
Well, here's
Did
the
he
problem.
jerk off in a hot tub?
No. I know. These are all questions that should be answered. And ones that if we ever have Lucia on our show, and we hope to one day, that maybe perhaps she can answer.
Because if Conrad could fill up a hot tub full of jizz, that would be kind of impressive.
You know who could? The alien from the earlier story we referenced, because he has unlimited jizz that tastes like cotton candy.
I think you're forgetting someone, Crispy.
Jesus?
I think you're forgetting someone.
Who else?
Dick Stryker.
Well, Dick Stryker, right? Dick Stryker comes in like buckets. Matter of fact, his cock is like a registered lethal weapon.
When Dick Stryker comes, he needs one of those giant gulpy.
A big gulp cup?
A big gulp cup.
Right, and that's not even big enough.
No, that's just the first spurt.
No, but I hope he makes Putin drink it. Goddamn Russian communist.
He'll get brain freeze.
Right. It's like a giant Slurpee. So then, after the hysterical blindness from that line sent me into wore off another 20 minutes later, I then skipped to page 51. Now, I know what you're thinking, listeners.
That you skipped a lot.
I am doing you a massive a disservice to the romance genre by not fully reading every word. I just couldn't. But on page 51, finally, I hoped that I would get what I was looking for. Fucking. But you know what that also means? 51 pages of no fucking. Why? The book's only like 63 pages long, for God's sake. So, and the line was where he was about to sheath himself in her waiting cunt. And his first thought, better make it last. So, listeners, what we've got here is a billionaire premature ejaculator. Great.
The worst kind.
Lucky Emma.
She waited 51 pages and it's going to last like 2 minutes.
Right. And then, of course, the story after the tumultuous love making, because it's not fucking in romance, it's love making.
Yeah.
It ends on a cliffhanger. Will Conrad find out that the lusty and beautiful Emma isn't an escort? Remember, she was disguising herself as an escort?
Is she getting paid for this?
No, she's doing Violet a favor.
So she's an escort that doesn't get paid?
Right.
What kind of a fucking story is this?
I know. But will Violet hate Emma for boinking her brother?
Wait, why does she care if someone boinks her brother?
You would think no one would, but in romance, I think they do. But here's the best part. Because this was only like the first section of a series, Nailed by Lucia Jordan. Should you be a fat, middle-aged woman eating a Godiva bar right now, probably in stretchy pants with the word pink stretched across your wide butt.
Pink.
Right. Pink becomes like a 4-syllable word. You can, if you want, receive a full free copy of Nailed, not just the first one, but all 4, by simply placing a review online, taking a picture of the review, and then emailing it to her.
Ooh, that's cheating, Crispy. Did you know that?
Really?
It really is. That's very inappropriate. But
boner down to you, Lucia.
It does happen, and I'm glad you brought that up, actually. The reason that we started doing this podcast is because so many people in erotica and romance and smut do shady things in order to get reviews online.
Like buy reviews
or offer to pay people with free porn and whatnot for reviews.
I would not call this porn.
Well, okay, or free romance, bean flicking content.
I would not flick my bean with this.
I'm feeling pretty dry, actually, from listening to your whole synopsis there,
Right.
which is bad because I like to feel wet.
So for all you dudes who have fat middle-aged housewives as wives and want to give them a gift, perhaps download this to their Kindle or one of her other exciting titles like Nailed, which we just reviewed, Depraved, Mercy, or Naughty. Apparently she just goes for the one-word titles.
How about just Boned?
No, that might be... No.
You know how that could be better?
How about just Stupid? You know how this could be better? If Conrad, killed her, fucked her sister, took a shit in
His
her
own
neck hole,
sister.
right?
Killed both of them, but fucked both of them first. He fucked his own sister and Emma and brought over 5 of his friends and ran a train on them.
Right. That would be better. I think it would. And then all his billionaire friends could
With bigger dicks than him.
Right, because we don't even know if he's really a billionaire.
Right. I think he has to suck somebody else's dick because he's not a billionaire and he doesn't have as big a dick.
Right. You don't see that a lot in romance.
Well.
A little depressing.
Right. Not enough dick sucking.
Right. Hey, in the upcoming weeks, you're also going to be bringing out your next chapters in the Wookiee porn series.
I am.
Of course, online, there'll be, designated Sasquatch stories.
They will be Sasquatch stories. However, we're going to pick up where we left off. Princess Cara is now on the brothel planet. And you know what that means, Chris P.
What's going to happen?
Well, she's gonna have to fuck a lot of aliens on the brothel planet. You remember the bar in Star Wars?
That
one. The cantina, exactly.
Right.
She's gonna have to fuck all of those guys.
And Chewbacca, I bet.
Well, there was something between her and the head of the Sasquatch. Right. And, of course, we don't know if Princess Cara may or may not be pregnant with a half Wookiee baby.
Oh, no. What's going to happen? We can only hope that the people at Disney don't reach out to us with a cease and desist. Right?
That's what I think about every day, Chris P.
Right, we're waiting for Mickey to show up.
So a lot of porn in the hopper.
This is very exciting. There's going to be a lot of good stuff for you to buy coming up soon. Well, I think we've covered everything we're going to cover. What's our fetish of next week?
Next week is squirting. Squirting girls. Because everybody needs to know about squirting. There's a lot of fallacies and rumors out there and urban legends about women who squirt. And we're going to give you the straight squirting facts.
Right. Anybody who wants to know if Chanel's a squirter will have to check back next week. The cliffhanger. We're not telling you.
I'm not telling. Not until next week, Chris P.
Right.
I think Chris P knows if I'm a squirter, though.
I might. Of course, we welcome all questions and comments to chrisplove69@gmail.com. And please, of course, do not send any naked pics or body parts to...
Or squirting pictures.
Or squirting pictures to chrisplove69@gmail.com. We don't want any pictures of your junk or pics of your squirting or pics of you with your favorite sex toy. Sent
the
to
Wilbur.
The Wilbur. Sent to chrisplove69@gmail.com. Have a good week, and we look forward to talking with you next week.